Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On DisneyPlus.com. It's time for our weekly live Q&A. So big hello to everybody here in the chat room. So I can see here we've got DJ Frosttop Babak, Khalid the 976. We've got Bubba Trolling, so soon in Knoxwave. So big hello to all of you. So each and every week we do a live Q&A, and this works basically where our patrons and our YouTube channel members have been able to submit questions in advance. And so I will jump between them and also the live chat, which is ongoing right now. So if you're a YouTube channel member, you can join in on the live chat. We've also got polls and stuff coming in as well, so everyone can take part in the poll. That's open to everyone. You can use the super chat function as well to send in extra questions or just show your support. It really does make a big difference. You can use the gift membership option as well to, if you want to help somebody out. That's something that would be pretty cool as well. And yeah, so let's kind of just jump into it. So you can hear me, which is fantastic. That's always a nice thing to do. So let's start off at the at the top. Really, it's like, what are the benefits of having Hulu on Disney Plus? So I've just put up a question here right now of like, what is your benefit of Hulu on Disney Plus? So is it just using the one app? Is it better? I also put in there a couple of other ones, including you don't yet have the Hulu sub yet, or you've not actually got it because you've got Star. Also, a big hello and welcome to Morgan Plant. Thank you very much for becoming a YouTube channel member. Thank you so much for your support. If you've got a question, feel free to pop it in. Right. Okay, so let's see here. And I just realized I've not put the one in the right one. But let's just start with a question. There we go. Well, we'll just go down the list. That'll be easier. So Babak says, with Disney having Sony releasing its films on DVD, do you think they will focus more on theatrical or Disney Plus releases, or will they still try to push their DVD sales? Right. So I think there's something that I kind of like. This is something that's come up a little bit about Sony with like, because they're going to be taking over. Apparently, I mean, there's nothing official. We've not seen any press release or anything like that. But Disney are basically outsourcing their physical media distribution and production to Sony because they can do it much cheaper because they do it for other companies, and also they've got the technology and stuff, and generally they can bring their costs down, so it's cheaper on Disney because they're selling a lot less, so they don't need to make as many. So ultimately this is a cost-saving exercise. But one thing that I very much kind of, it feels like people kind of getting away with this kind of thing of like almost thinking Sony have got the keys to the kingdom and they can run in there and raid the Disney vault and grab every single movie that they've got on the back catalog and suddenly release it on DVD. That's probably not really the case. It's probably more the fact of Disney will probably still design it, decide what they're going to sell, how they're going to sell it, and then they just outsource the distribution and the production of it to Sony to deal with. Sony, I think there's that kind of weird thing of like this idea that Sony suddenly are going to be able to fix all the problems with physical media and everyone's going to get what they wanted and everything in the vault is going to get upgraded to 4K. Now, there might be some feedback from Sony to Disney that we were like, oh, we'd like to do like a 4K version of this. Or the trouble is with 4K discs, they don't sell as much, so there's a bit of an issue. But hopefully, if they upgrade a movie for 4K, then Disney Plus can get an updated version as well. But I think there's a general like idea of really of like Disney are outsourcing this to try and save money because it's no longer making them as much money as it was. So they're trying to squeeze out that last little bit of physical media to do it. Now, I kind of want a little bit of a side sort of thing. So today is a prime example of I've been doing a little bit of a clear out. I felt like it's time. I've got way too much junk. And so I put together about 3-4 different piles of different things that I want to get rid of and sell and stuff and take to the recycling center and stuff. But one of the things I did was I actually went through my video game system, got rid of an Xbox that I'm not using, some other bits and pieces, PSVR that's just been sat there in a box. And I had a stack of video games and DVDs. And so I sold them all off to CEX this afternoon. And because I literally only go to CEX probably every 1 or 2 years, I will just go there and take a pile of stuff to get rid of. Because I never go in there because I just don't buy physical media anymore. And I was a bit like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff I just don't need. And yeah, it's just stacked full of discs. And there's a guy in front of me and he was asking to buy he said he just moved in somewhere. He hasn't got the internet or an aerial yet. So he just wanted to buy a DVD player. they were like, well, nobody even sells, we don't even have DVD players for sale. And he goes, I'm not really sure. If you go around the charity shops, you might be able to find one. I mean, that was the thing that got me, was like, you've got these stacks and stacks and stacks of discs, and the shop doesn't even sell a device to even read them. So how long is physical media going to be around when there's no devices? That was just something today. It was just very noticeable. I think because I was obviously in a store selling off a load of physical media, it was very much that. Again, Keenan says, will Sony distribute Disney's back catalogue on DVD and Blu-ray, such as Bridge to Tabitha, Parent Trap? So I think as long as Disney want to put that out there, they will do. Again, a bit of caution really on the idea that Sony have just got the keys. Like I said, I don't think they've got the keys to the kingdom. They've just now the delivery truck and the production thing. So that's kind of the thing for me with that one. Tim says, when will the Rookie come to Disney Plus Australia, New Zealand, as it's on 7 Plus in Australia at the minute? Probably won't do, because E1 have the global distribution. They actually make that show, and like Disney kind of co-fund it, like lease it in the US. So Rookie's only available on Hulu on Disney Plus and Hulu in the US. It's not available outside of that. Babak says, when the full merger happens, what Disney or what Hulu features could you see being brought over? I hope they add the remove from watch list and release dates under each episode. So I think there's definitely a case of I don't think they're not going to be bringing over a lot of stuff like your data and all the rest of it. It started from scratch. Then I think they basically just ruled it out as it's too cost effective and just too. I definitely feel having release dates for things that are expiring. I 100% think this is needed with Disney Plus now in the US, because so much content gets removed because of licensing. Like Hulu removes stuff all the time, and though you do get that advance notice, if you're on Disney Plus, you might not see that. I would like to see it globally anyway. Like over the weekend, I believe a load of licensed UK films have been removed here in the UK. So I think they should do, even if it just gives you a 7-day warning or something like that. I think that would be useful for them to do. Remove from watch list would be great. There's so many things where I've clicked on by mistake, primarily because I'm just trying to get maybe the description of the show or something like that, and it opens up and it's like, I don't want to watch it. Or or the other way is where, like, this happens. It's probably a bit more special, like for myself. Of sometimes I'll watch a show, but I might have watched for example, I might have watched 4 or 5, 6, maybe even 7 of the episodes on through a screener. So I've been sent it early, but maybe I've not got the rest of it. So I'll sometimes want to jump in at later episodes, or even worse, you finish a series and of course you don't want to go through the credits and just sits there. It'd just be great to remove it, or at least mark it that you've watched it. Or even better, if you get to the end credits, it just knows that you finished it. Leon says, what percentage in revenue will Disney Plus be getting from the Sony distribution reels? Do Disney still retain legal rights? So again, we don't officially know anything about this. Pure speculation and guess on my part. Disney own it. They are just having Sony distribute and produce the discs for them, probably on behalf of them. This is about Disney trying to save money. They've not sold anything. They're basically getting somebody else to print them and send them out to stores. That's all it is. They're still going to have that thing. I don't know necessarily if Disney Plus, the streaming division, won't get the money, because streaming and digital releases are still going to be done by them. But yeah, so I wouldn't worry too much about that one. Right, let's see some live questions. Let's see what we've got. So DJ Frosttop says, is there any updates on the release date for Hulu on Disney Plus? I'm confused because they aren't talking about it and not putting out ads for it. Yes, we're into March, and they said it's coming this month. What day it is, who knows? Honestly, I'm at a point now where I think that it is just going to do what happened with the launch of Hulu on Disney Plus. It's just going to happen one day. One day, you're going to wake up and it's active. It's either been updated or it comes out of beta. They might want to run it a few more weeks. but I think they might even do a slow rollout of the features. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to roll out all the features on day one. I personally would like them to do it slowly, so it doesn't fall out, less, get things right and change things afterwards. But one of the key differences when it comes out of beta is that Hulu Hub will be available on everyone on the US. They'll see it, and then it will prompt them to subscribe if they haven't got it. Yeah, and with everything happening with Star India, I think at some point we might see the change. But I think this is more of a case of it launches and then they start promoting it, because then it's out there and it's done. They've already probably, most of the Hulu subscribers that have the bundle are going to be aware, and it's going to be showing in there. It's going to be less of an impact. We're now 4 or 5 months in. If anyone on social media goes, "Why have I got a Hulu Hub?" People in the comments will be like, "Oh, we've had that for months." It's just dampened down the issues with this. So yeah, I think that's going to be. I think it's just going to launch one day, and that will happen. I don't think we're going to get notice. I think it's just going to happen one day. One day. Babak says Disney brought Fox in 2019 and still doesn't have access to all its legacy content. When do you think that would change? Planet of the Apes is still on Stars. So we're definitely starting to see some changes with some of those contracts that 20th Century put in. We don't know how long some of them were in. For example, I believe the one that just expired like 3 months ago was signed in 2013, and it was a 10-year deal, and that's just expired. We are seeing less stuff leaving each month on the US side of things. We saw Alvin and the Chipmunks, but Wolverine and Deadpool both stayed on Disney Plus. They didn't go off the Max. So the Max situation, if Disney will pay them, Warner Brothers, I think, will just sort that out. I do think that these deals are coming to the end naturally. We are 4 or 5 years on from it. But again, if they signed a 10-year deal on that last day before Disney brought it, then that's just how it's going to be. I don't think Stars has got 10 years in it. I think that one that just closed down here in the UK over the weekend, Stars or Lionsgate Plus, is gone. I don't think Stars is going to be around much longer, and it'll be less of an issue anyway, but I think that's all going to start coming to an end. Kelly says there are a lot of benefits for Hulu, benefits of having Hulu on Disney Plus. Since Hulu isn't a carbon copy of Star, there's a lot of sub-licensed content on a rotational basis, similar to the old Netflix. It was very interesting on, when was it, Thursday or Friday? On the 1st. Going into the Hulu Hub and then seeing things like Detective Pikachu and Jurassic Park, and there was a whole host of, there was an amazing array of movies. I was looking at going, wow, that is some real. Batman Begins. I can't believe I was that kind of weird thing of like, yeah, we're in Bizarro Land. Hell is frozen over. We have Batman now on Disney Plus in the US. That's how weird things have got. And I do think licensing movies is going to be useful for Disney, and I think this is useful for them globally. Obviously, it helps here in the UK and Europe for building up for local content to help with that side of things, the legal issues. But also, if you've got content from Sony, and say you've got Sony, Paramount, and Warner Brothers, all these people that are selling off their content, if Disney can make a benefit from having this content on there for a limited time and it gets viewership, and it's got to be cheaper than creating new content, it's a win, isn't it? I think we've got to get past this idea of Disney. I think we're kind of there now where Disney Plus is not just a walled garden of this is this, and everything outside of this isn't allowed in, and anything in here is not allowed to go anywhere else. We're way past that now. Yeah. Kelly says Disney Plus outside of Marvel and Star Wars is mostly a niche service. Having Hulu integrated makes the service more well-rounded. 100%. And this is the big problem I feel with the US side of things, is the lack of the general entertainment has left it in this weird position where it's kids stuff, Nat Geo, and then you got Marvel and Star Wars. And it was like you got this like 4 pillars. And yeah, if you weren't into any of that, you wouldn't do it. It's like I think we've been saying this for years, of the addition of Star does make it much more well-rounded, much more content dropping on there, different shows, different things to watch. I look at like March's lineup of what's coming out, and it's definitely much stronger on the Hulu/Star side with Shogun and Extraordinary and Grey's Anatomy, and those kind of stuff is real, the heavy hitter stuff that I'm much more interested in watching than Super Kiddies. The 976. I keep wanting to say 619. No, 767. Whatever number it is. Sorry, I can't read. What is your predictions for next week's Oscars? I'm going to be honest. I find the Oscars a little bit dull, and I've always had this kind of thing of what they think the best film of the year is usually the film which I will probably find the most boring film to watch. That's the problem. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. I've been waiting for it to drop onto one of the streaming services. I did watch Napoleon this afternoon because that's been on Apple TV this weekend. So I did watch that. We had to decide between Napoleon and Poor Things. My wife didn't want to watch Poor Things. We ended up watching Napoleon, which it was good. I'm glad it's on Apple TV because therefore it's a bit different. But yeah. I think as far as Oscars, I mean, I'd like Emma Stone to win it. I think in some ways for actress, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of that weird thing of does it really matter? Most of the stuff that's going to win, no one will go and see because no one really cares about this. It is the kind of thing of the Oscars pick the movies that they want to make, not the movies that people want to watch. But let us know in the comments. Let us know in the live chat. So, what do you think is going to win? What would you like to win? Or do you think the same as me? Okay, so Kayla says, what are your favorite memories of the wrestler Sting? Tonight's is AEW Revolution, where it's expected to be a send-off. You know what? Sting's a bit of a weird one for me. Because I mean, I had his action figure in the 90s when he was the surfing one, but I didn't really follow WCW. It was more when the Attitude Era, when he was the Crow version, and he was just really cool, and I like that version of him, and that was kind of cool. And then since then, that's kind of been it. Really, it's just that 1998 kind of 1997 version of Sting. I mean, it was a complete rip-off of the Crow. I mean, I watched his match with Darby Allin and stuff the other day, but I don't know. I don't really get he's always that thing of he's a wrestler that never really got to that. He really needed a good proper run in WWE, and he didn't get it because obviously he was so much older and stuff. But I think he should have gone a little bit younger. Hello to Morgan. So with the streaming landscape changing so rapidly, looking forward to the end of the decade, who will be left? My predictions are Netflix, Prime, that will be merged with MGM Plus, and Disney. So I agree with you on Netflix, and I agree with you on Disney. I think Comcast of some kind is going to have something. I think they're going to still be in the business. I think with Universal, they're still making content. I think they're going to swallow up some other stuff. Amazon is a bit of a weird one, whereas I am not. Do they want to be in this business? They're just there to get you to have that subscription to make you buy more rubbish from their store. They're not making movies and shows to get your money at the cinemas or to get you to sign up for it. All they want you to sign up for is to go and buy your toilet rolls and your toys and your action, whatever it is. That's what they want from you. And I think that's the thing for me with Amazon is they are not there to they're not doing it for the same reason that everybody else is. It's a bonus scheme and and Amazon are really starting to cut back on stuff because obviously they exploded during the pandemic and things are coming. I haven't had an Amazon subscription for a while. A couple of things I do want to watch. I want to watch Clarkson's Farm and also the Grand Tour. I want to watch Reacher. So there's a few things stacking up. So when there's when there's a month, I think maybe April, there's Fallout as well. I might just jump in for a month and watch a few shows. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel that thing. Let's just do a poll on that, actually. So just looking here at the benefits of Hulu on Disney Plus, 61% of you just think it's good having everything in one app. So let's start a poll. Do you sub to Amazon just for Prime Video? Yes. Just video. No, just a bonus for free shipping. Don't have Amazon. Yeah, let's see where that one goes. Right, let's carry on with some live questions. See what we've got here. Morgan says Apple TV and Paramount Plus. I hope merge and Peacock goes the way of Sony with licensing out. So to me, I think Peacock is gonna be around in some form. I think Comcast needs it to try and flog something with their cable system or whatever they're doing. Sky now, whichever way they're doing it. I don't think they're going to go anywhere just yet. I think as well, NBC, they've got linear channels. They make money through it. You know, you've got the sports. I think it'll be around for a while on that one. Noxwave says, with Disney Sony deal, I hope they release physical media for Disney Plus original films and TV shows like High School Musical, the series, Marvel shows, Hulu originals, and FX shows. I think we're going to see this more and more, especially on the heavy hitters. And I think as we get more, or I would say, as we get less shows but better shows, I think we're much more likely to start seeing this kind of thing of them trying to get extra cash out of it. Because my theory is that by having a lot less content coming through, the shows that do come through will get watched more and become more successful, if you know what I mean. I think that will definitely help. Morgan says AMC Plus is just pointless. The Marvel Dead spin-offs need to be expanded to regions where AMC doesn't exist. AMC can make a deal with Disney. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised AMC Plus is still going. Then they've got all those little weird little ones like Acorn and like. I'm surprised that they don't just like merge them all into one, clear off some of the little ones. But yeah, I'm surprised they haven't just gone to licensing content out. I am surprised that they're still kind of holding on in there. Ricardo says this Friday Morbius was added on the Disney Plus in the US. It's the same master as the Netflix US one, which only includes English and the Spanish dub. The other Spider-Man films also had the Netflix masters. So again, this might not necessarily be the Netflix masters. This is just what Sony will have given them. That's the key thing. Sony will have given them a file and said, that's what we want you to use. So Soon says, will Modern Family be on there with the full merger? I would hope it would be. But again, we just don't know with that one. Noxway said, sadly, no word when Disney streams Wish on Disney Plus. I believe it was streamed the day after the physical release. Yeah, I mean, the thing is now with these releases is they will tend to hold off and drop it last minute because they don't need. There's not a lot of point in promoting it in advance with these kind of streamers. There's no extra. You know, they might get some signups and stuff, but they're actually doing the exact opposite. They're trying to get more people to buy the discs, trying to get more people to buy the, the digital versions, and we are going to see longer waits between it. I mean, Wish came out now Thanksgiving. You know, we're now into March, so it's been what good? It's like this December, January, February, March. So we're going into month 4, and I think this is a good thing for Disney as a whole. I think it's going to help them. If you start getting into this idea of like, oh well, do you want to go see that movie? Oh, it's not out for a couple of months, or you can buy it digitally. I think that's going to help. Morgan says, with Prime Video charging to remove ads for $2.99, why do you think they just didn't create an ad tier rather than forcing ads down paying subscribers? I think we're going to see a big change with them dropping Freevee. I think the idea of getting this content with ads without paying anything, I don't think they like it. I think they like having the knowledge that they're getting enough money from people anyway. And you got to look at it the other way. If you were getting like Sky TV or cable, or if you're getting Virgin or anything like that, you had to pay for those channels anyway. And I think they just want to kind of replicate that a little bit. I've seen some people like saying, well, why should we pay if we have to sit through adverts? Well, most of the time we have to sit through adverts anyway. It's just the cost is reduced. And I think they like having that monthly income. I do think Amazon were very, very sneaky with the kind of moving everybody onto the ad tier version, but then they want more money from advertising. I think this is where, if this doesn't work, this is where then they shift their strategies. But ads are going to become more and more important. Now I will say, if I'm watching like on ITV or Channel 4, like if I'm watching like 1 or 2 series a week on it, it's fine. But like we're watching like Married at First Sight Australia, and it's on 4 nights a week, and they're about an hour, hour and a half each, and the amount of ads, and I was this close to just saying like, should we just spend the £4 and just get the premium version for a month so we don't have to sit for the ads? Barbara Trolling says, when do you think Disney will rename the Star to Hulu because of the Hotstar sale? I don't know when, but I just think it is going to happen sooner rather than later. And again, I don't think there will be much of... I don't think there'll be a big hype over it. Here in the UK, they don't really use the Star branding anyway, so they could change it anyway. They'll just change it one day, put out an email, put out some stuff on social media, and that'll be it. They're not going to... I don't think they're going to spend any money advertising it, because there's not a lot of point. Well, says, I hope they Amazon separates the TV movie store from Prime. Oh, it's awful, isn't it? You go in there, go like, I want to watch this. Oh, you got to pay for it. And also, I'm sure they stuff the Prime numbers for how many films and shows are on there, because you see like it's got the biggest collection, and I'm going, are they including all the movies that are for sale in here? It seems a bit strange with that. Ricardo says, if the Hulu beta version of Disney Plus ends this month, I hope that for the pages for all the shows and Hulu updates the same features. Yeah, it'd be nice to see it all on the front page, seeing the trending tab like move around a little bit more, just a bit more like the front page just looking like it looks everything in one place. Okay, let's jump now back into the pre ones. Aaliyah says it's now March. Any guess or scoop for when Hulu integration will happen? I don't have any scoops. No, pure guess, pure speculation. March the 15th. March the 15th is the day after the password sharing agreement kicks in. We got Taylor Swift. Wouldn't be surprised if there was Wish, maybe. And that is their big launch. Maybe you've got Grey's Anatomy coming in that week as well, I think it is. Yeah, I think that's the week to do it. That's my pure prediction. It could happen tomorrow. Keenan says, my prediction is on March 19th, concluding with the first day of spring. Well, it depends which version of spring you're going for. Because I think the meteorological version of spring started on Friday. Mama said, it's been 4 months since Hulu on Disney Plus launched. What do you think were the positives, and what were your predictions for Hulu on Disney Plus in the future? So I think this was the one I should have done at the beginning. Right, so positives. Definitely, I think there's a lot of positives with the launch of Hulu on Disney Plus. I think the way they did it wasn't 100% right, but I do think they took the edge off it a little bit, because you had to be a Hulu subscriber to get it. And therefore, that kind of just slowed down the fact that you had to be Hulu to get it. So you had to have that anyway. So I do think that's an issue. So I think adding it in, I think the positives are just like really starting to showcase some of the stuff. I think the big positives is really going to allow people to be going into Disney Plus and seeing new content daily, new shows dropping in. I think we need that. If you go into, at the minute, it's a bit wishy-washy because the new bit, but if you go in there and suddenly you've got all this other stuff, it's just a shame you have to go in to Disney Plus, then into Hulu, and then you see what's new, rather than you just go in and you see all what's new on Hulu. Maybe, I mean, I don't like it, because I would rather they had it the same way where they've got it here, where it's just a new on Disney Plus. I would like what they'd have in Australia, where it's like new episodes this week underneath, so you can see everything that's new. But yeah, I think that's definitely the positives. I think just getting people used to it, and getting used to the idea of it. That idea of, there's a horror movie on Disney Plus, or there's something like this on there, or something a bit risky, and it's like that seems to have like dropped off a bit because people have got used to it. Babak says Shogun was fantastic. Do you think they would have been a good show to put on Disney Plus to help increase mature content? Shogun is fantastic. So I'm currently, because I have got screeners, but I'm trying not to get too. I'm about episode 5 in. I can't watch too many in the go because you obviously have to concentrate, and I didn't want to get too far ahead. But loving this series, extremely well made. If you haven't checked it out, please do. And this is where one of the advantages of the Hulu on Disney Plus comes in, because I had an email from Disney the other day from just a generic one that goes out to subscribers, and it was pushing the fact that Shogun was on Disney Plus available. It's just a shame, like with the advertising and with the promotion, that they didn't use that on Hulu and on Hulu on Disney Plus. You know, we've not seen those words uttered on one press release, one poster, one trailer. It's like it never exists. It doesn't happen. It is a bit weird, but it would have been nice. They're doing it. They've done that in Latin America because obviously they're going to get ready to close Star Plus and move it into Disney Plus. They actually have done that there. Keenan says, why are some live action remakes for Disney Plus and some are released in cinemas before that goes to Disney Plus? So I think a couple of things with this one. First off, some of the films that they are making, they are planning for them right at the very beginning to be a theatrical release or a Disney Plus release. So that's being made right at the very beginning, and that usually indicates the budget that's going to be spent on it. You know, so much they generally won't spend as much. They're also trying to boost up Disney Plus, so they wanted to put more on there. It backfired. None of them were that great. Let's be honest. I mean, they were okay. Pinocchio was awful, but like Lady and the Tramp was okay, and Peter Pan and Wendy was okay. But they're going all in on theatrical because they need to make money. Putting a movie straight onto streaming just doesn't make them the same money, and they can't do it. And also, as we have found out, people are bored stiff of live action remakes. They've just done too many. They've just done way too many, and I think that's definitely an issue with that one. Looking here at the poll to do a sub, so 48% of you say that you just watch for the video. 33% of you just do it for free shipping, and 19% of you don't have it. So yeah, how about that's not too bad. Keenan says, "Are you aware that Tyler Perry was annoyed at how long it's taken to make Sister Act 3?" I'm not surprised because it's been like 4 years, and it does seem to be taking a very, very long time. And they seem to be doing a lot of talk about it on The View. And yeah, I'd imagine he just wants to get this project up, gone, and moved on, and get his money. Mamo says, with Disney replacing Sean Bailey as the co-head of Searchlight Pictures, David Greenbaum as the head of 20th Century Studios and Disney Live Action, what do you think the changes will be? I don't think we're going to see any changes over the next year to 18 months. We're probably not going to see any major differences in the movies that have been scheduled are going to come out. I think we're going to see a lot of projects that were in development probably cancelled or paused. I think a lot of them are going to be the live action remakes. Apparently there was something in the puck. I need to look into it. I haven't read it yet, but apparently it says, does this need to exist? And I saw a lot of people taking that on social media out of context, maybe sort of thinking, well, then that's the end of live action remakes. I'm like, the reason these live action remakes exist is to make money. It's not about it's. I think sometimes people get a little bit like mixed up with like they're not releasing them because they're releasing them to make money. That's why they've done it. But yeah, that's definitely an issue. Tim says, with Disney Plus releasing the list for what's coming out each month, why don't they add the movies from the box office? Again, there is a problem with like when they put out the list of what's coming out this month. They'll get a boost of PR. So what you don't want to do is give away your big heavy hitter. You want to have that go out at a different time to encourage more people in. So you don't want to give everything away. You want to, these are big announcements. Now, ideally, you probably would want to make these before the announcement comes out, but they're in a catch-22 because they're trying to get more money from the digital sales. So if they announce it too soon, they're cannibalizing. If they say like, oh, in 3 weeks' time, Wish is coming out, people aren't going to buy it this weekend. But if they don't tell you, you buy it. Mamo says, were you surprised that the members of the Disney family are supporting Iger even though they've been critical of Iger in the past? Sometimes it's better the devil you know. They know Iger. They know what he's about. They might not agree with him of everything, but he generally, I think, he's got his idea on what he wants Disney to be, and he's much more ingrained in Disney. He's been there a long time. He gets it. I don't think these activist investors have got anything other than the fact that they want more money. They want more dividends, and they want to put the stock up, and they want to get their money, and they want to get out. And they think that if they get in there, that they're going to strip this company for parts, make more profit, and bugger off, basically. I do not trust either of the two, any of the activist investors. They're not there. They're there to make money, and they ain't there to make friends. They're not there to restore the magic. They don't care about whether or not this movie's on Disney Plus. They don't care if the hot dogs are too expensive. They just want more profit in their pocket. They do not care one iota. and all this stuff of them trying to restore the magic and all this, and some of the ideas that have come out from both parties that have been putting stuff out there. So that's why the family come in, because they know that there's a risk of, and also as well, if these guys come in, there's going to be disruption for years. Elliot says the new season of Grey's Anatomy will start on March the 14th. Does this mean that Hulu on Disney Plus will be coming out of pizza? I think that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Grey's Anatomy is the most watched show on Disney Plus around the world. It is huge, and I don't think enough people, especially in the social media, Twitter film bubble, sometimes get like there's a lot of people outside of the bubble that do stuff that doesn't represent what we like. And I think some things like Grey's Anatomy, I think like Virgin River on Netflix is another one where a lot of people like this stuff, and they aren't on social media the same way, following Dune and Avatar and all the rest of it. Keenan says Paramount Plus ended the year with 67.5 million subscribers last year. Is that good? Well, I mean, it would be. I think the simple trouble is there is too many subscription services, and Paramount Plus is weak. It doesn't have the same power that everybody else has, and they do not have the money to compete with Netflix, and they're tanking. I mean, the company is just struggling. And I think Paramount would be better off just becoming a licensing stuff out. They haven't got the scale. We can't have 9 or 10 different streaming services. We just can't afford it. And I think that's the biggest issue. Connor says, what do you think will happen to Sky now when Max launches in 2026? I feel that Warner Bros. Discovery will pull all their content and relicense the library content like they did with Netflix. The big question is, though, is in 2026, who's going to own Warner Bros. Discovery? Because I don't necessarily think that Zaslav is going to be there. Here in the UK, if they pull all of the content off of Sky, there's nothing left as far as I'm concerned. Sky, I don't subscribe to Now or Sky at the minute, because basically until probably like House of Dragon or someone else comes along, there's just nothing on there that I want to watch. And if they go, they've got nothing left. All right, let's jump back into the live chat. Let's see what we've got. Let's keep going. Right. Here we go. Barbara Trolling says, when do you think they're going to... Oh, we did that one. Yep, we did that one. Yep, we did that one. All right. Oh, Max is finally confirmed to launch in late 2025, 2026. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think in some ways what would make more sense here in the UK is launch Max, but kind of replace Discovery Plus. That might be the way of doing it. Knoxville says, I heard that Praise Pete has been removed. I feel like Disney removed more cancelled shows with low viewership. Yeah, so this one did get removed. Wasn't surprised. Again, the trouble is with this stuff costs money to hold on the servers. They've got to pay the people that created it. And if not enough people are watching it, and especially after it's been cancelled, I know everyone loves this idea that, everything just sits there when you want it. The simple truth is, not enough people are watching it. If enough people watched it, it wouldn't have got cancelled. And then how many people were watching it? I'd love to see the numbers. I don't think they'll ever release them, because it would be a nightmare for like stockholders and stuff. But we just don't know how many people watched it. What if, like last week, only 4 people in the whole world watched Praise Petey? We don't know. And it's like, they're going to look at it and go, right, it's costing us this much a month, and this many people are watching it. It's just not cost effective. And I think we all love the idea of everything being on there, but the vast majority of people, I bet if you asked most people, 99% of people have never heard of Praise PT and will never watched it. Matt says, I see a lot of shows on ABC are either cancelled or ending that they're made by Sony. Yeah, I think Sony, E1, Disney are cutting back. And why spend money making a show with another company, especially and also with those kind of shows, they get more expensive as they go into later seasons. So if you start getting like seasons 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they get more expensive. So the cast costs more, the executives get more money. So yeah, I mean, it's that kind of thing. If you're looking to cut back on how much stuff you're making, how much money you're spending, wouldn't it make more sense just to not buy in stuff that's costing you? I think it just makes a lot of sense. And I think also ABC, it does feel a bit weird with like how many shows they're dropping like on a Thursday and a Wednesday night. It does seem like ludicrous of dropping like 4 shows on one night. Kerry says the reason why Peacock and Paramount Plus are in talks to merge their services since their business in Eastern Europe falls under Sky Showtime. I think it's good for them. I think it would be better because I don't necessarily think that everyone getting scooped up by everybody else is a good thing, but collaborations could help kind of get around some of these issues. Okay, thanks very much, Knoxway. Thank you very much for joining us. Also, a big thank you and hello to Ryan as well. Thank you so much. Knoxway says, I plan on subscribing to Amazon Video since Invincible Part 2 comes later this month. I've never watched that one. Matt says, what do you think of the Summer Olympics? A waste of money and a waste of time. It's Sports Day, and I hated Sports Day. And if everyone loved the Olympics so much, why do they only do it every 4 years? And no one talks about track and field and all the rest of it for the other 3.5 years that it's not on. If it was it's Sports Day, and you either love Sports Day or you hated it. But someone running around a track has got no interest to me in the slightest. I don't get why everyone gets it's. Yeah, you can tell there I'm not a fan of the Olympics. The only one Tinkerbell, thank you very much for your continued support. I love Amazon Prime. Wheel of Time is great. I haven't watched that one. I enjoyed Rings of Power. I only got like 2 episodes in. I got so bored. It was such a disappointment. From the films were so good, and that show was so dull. But I'm glad you like it, because I'm glad that people do like this stuff, and we're all allowed to like different things. And I think we need to embrace that a little bit more. Of you don't have to just follow what everybody else is saying. Like there's some shows that I like that you might not like, and everyone has their own choice, and we need more choice. And I think that's a cool thing. They have a lot of extras. You can get information about the extras and what scene you're watching. That's cool. That's always a nice thing. Lady Jennifer Cerno says, I think Apple and Amazon will be around. It's only because they bought a legacy studio. Yeah, I mean, I think buying a legacy studio will help them. I don't know if Apple have got the long running for it. I could see them just licensing content and bundling it in with their platform. I will say I've become a huge fan of Apple TV Plus. We've run out like a 5-month free trial, and we've only got about like 6 weeks left. But I have been loving Masters of the Air. That is an amazing series. Just watched Napoleon. We obviously had Flowers of the Killer Moon. We have on our 3rd season now of Slow Horses, another fantastic police like drama that's really cool. Criminal Record, another fantastic series. Ted Lasso's great. Monarch, I love that show. I'm in the zone. I'm just working my way through the new look as well. But I've just watched Cristobal on Disney Plus, and it's kind of the same story, but for just a different was it a designer? So it's a little bit too. I've watched them too close together, so I'm going to give the look a little bit longer to go. Also watching Legacy, the NFL Patriots documentary. That's really good as well. I'm probably watching more on Apple TV than a lot of other ones. There's some really fine, good quality on there. Morgan says, to me, Peacock needs to be rebranded to Universal Plus, like it is in mainland Europe. Maybe with a tile branding system with Universal, DreamWorks, Focus, NBC. I think Universal Plus. I do think everyone needs to drop the Plus idea of not every streaming service has to have Plus. But it's a lot better than Peacock or Paracock or there's all these different. I mean, there's been so many of like Mantcock. There's all these different ones going around with the idea of you put Peacock and Paramount together. What are you going to get? Matt says, where Sony films not doing well in theaters, a lot of movies are not doing well in theaters because not enough people are going. People don't want to go the same way. The cost of going to cinemas is more expensive. People don't want to be disrupted by other people. People also like on their phones because they're bored. It's a very kind of weird thing. Just movies are just a little bit. I've been having a lot of discussion this weekend with friends, like with Dune 2. People that love it think it's going to be $1 billion movie, and it's like, I don't think it's going to hit that. Ricardo says, this week the reporter Warner's halted talks with Paramount for a potential merger. However, it says halted, so they could probably. I think it's more about. I think it stopped because Warner Brothers is not in a position where it can do it, and I think legally they'd have a difficulty doing it. Dana says, I think we could see a full Hulu merger tomorrow this week. Get all the bugs worked out before the Taylor Swift show. Yeah, you don't want to upset the Swifties, but I definitely could see that happening. The logos of Ricardo says the logos of Star India and Star International always look very different from each of them. Maybe that's a way for Disney to use. Well, I'd actually disagree on that one. So let's just Star Plus or Star logo Disney, and let's bring that up. And Star India logo. Right, so I don't know if I can bring these in. Let's see if I can bring them in. Come on, computer, go a bit faster. Go a bit fast. Because there is something in here that I would like. It's a case of right. Let's see. Right, let's see if we can do this. Go into there, into brand. Let's see here. So I want to add in a. No, wrong way, and I will get that. Sorry, bear with. Right. So here is. Let's just get rid of me. Put me down in the corner. Why is it not doing that properly? Right. So there we go. So you can see there what I'm going to get at here. I'm just going to get rid of the banner. Get rid of the comment. Right. So you can see here that this Star logo has this particular bend in the Star particular logo, right? Now, if we actually look here, this is the Star India logo. And look at this, exactly the same star. It is exactly the same star. The text is a little different, but the actual star, the actual logo is identical. So that is something that that's going to be interesting to see. So that's definitely going to be so the actual, like I said, the Star logo is identical for both platforms. So that is the problem with how interconnected this is because that's why I think they are going to have to get rid of it, because it is the same logo. It is exactly the same logo. Bobatronic says, do you think Warner Brothers Discovery will close down Discovery Plus? I think they're going to bring in. I think they're going to have to, and then they can maybe do something with TNT Sports. That's again, 2-3 years is a long way away for Warner's. Morgan says Lionsgate Plus has the potential to be an underdog with Lionsgate Summit, Spyglass, and E1 Films, but I don't think Lionsgate have the money to make it worthwhile. Well, I think that, again, it's get down to how much people there's only so much money going around, and you can't subscribe to everything. And I think this is the key thing. If everyone fought to try and get that spot, and they didn't have enough money to do it, and they've all spent a ton of money trying to get there, and they haven't got anywhere. Lionsgate, they have lots of potential with all these different studios, but there's a reason why they're splitting apart, so they can get rid of Star or close it down. Morgan also says, do you think Disney should do a 24/7 live ABC ESPN broadcast to compete with Paramount and Peacock? I would say yes, but I don't think they will do, because they want to sell you this new sports streaming service and Hulu Live TV. They didn't go down this line of giving away their free channels, which has given them more power to keep their linear channels going. And one of the big complaints that they've been putting in with Paramount and Peacock is that they've devalued their linear channels by giving it away for free. So Disney are kind of in the opposite thing. Matt says, when do you think the Hulu merger will happen without paying for Hulu subscription? Next year. I think next year we'll see the full merger of Hulu and Disney Plus. I think they're going to have to complete the purchase from Comcast before they can do it, and then they will merge the two together fully, because that's when they can really go all in. You'll have been used to it for a year. They do it, and everyone will just be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense," and it won't have any real bad publicity, and it will just fold in. Whether or not Hulu Live TV's gone at that point, who knows? But yeah, I think it will be happening next year. Kelly says, what do I expect from David overseeing Disney live action is making first look deals with some production companies when they get the more autonomy to do their vision. I don't agree with that one. I don't think they're going to do these first look deals. I think that's become a huge burden onto them and why they've been getting rid of a lot of them. Why bother buying someone's first look deal? Why pay them for in case they come up with something? I'd be like, you see, we've got all these people in Hollywood and around the world with ideas and stuff. Let them come to, when they've got something good, then let's see what they've got. Why am I paying you extra? Kelly says, I'm not surprised that Disney descendants are supporting Iger over Pepsi since he's essentially a watered down version of Vince McMahon. God, that one with a barge pole. Matt says, are they going to do an Indiana Jones TV series? I don't think so. Indiana Jones, I think as a franchise, is going to be parked for a while Harrison's still around. Billy says, when is the ad tier coming to Europe? Do you think there are some good things about it? They've already launched in some European countries, not launched everywhere. I think the ad tier is generally a good thing. I think it's good for a couple of reasons. First off, it gives you a choice. If you want to have a really cheap version of Disney Plus, it's there. Here in the UK, $4.99, or if you do it right now, you can get 3 months for $1.99. And here you can get some new Pepsi. So you can get that one like really cheap, and they can do deals on that one. They can give it away with bundles. The ad version is where they make money, and that's good for the studios. That's good for making content. I look at ads really as it's win, 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 win. I would say it's not a good thing if you only could have ads. I'm glad that I don't have ads. I pay for the premium version because I don't want to watch the ads. But there are some streaming services that I watch with ads, and there's so little I watch on there that I'm willing to put up with it. But yeah, it is that thing, and I think the price point is a really good thing for it. I definitely think that's a good thing for it. Right, let's carry on. Got a couple last few questions for the pre-done ones, and then we'll be live for the rest of the show. Elliot says, what films or series do you show when you talk about Hotstar? There's a few, they were just trailers and adverts for Hotstar. Nothing in particular. I don't think there were any particular films. Kelly says, what adjustments should Disney make now that new releases for content are starting to dry up for Disney Plus due to the strikes last year? Should they also feature the new Hulu releases? It has been a bit disappointing with the lack of content that's coming, no doubt, and what we were used to. I would say the content we're getting is better. We are getting better originals, I think, but we're getting less of them. You only have to look at the Hulu lineup each week. When I do like the daily thing and I see, I don't know, let's say Monday in the US, you're going to have a whole host of animated series from Fox. Tuesday, you got The Bachelor and Shogun. On Wednesday, you've got Dead to Me and Good Trouble and a few other ones. On Wednesday, you're getting day after day after day, you're getting these great shows. And again, when it's all combined, you'll have that power. Here internationally, we don't get all of the originals that you get in the US. Some of them are US only, so therefore we don't get all of it. But when we're starting to get when we start getting things like 911 and Grey's Anatomy and Station 19, Not Dead Yet, Will Trent, all that kind of stuff, that starts making this show. It just makes it more complete. And I think that it is when you look at everything together, you start realizing they are putting out a lot of stuff. It's just, again, the branding at the minute is still so separate. Last of the pre-done questions, and then we'll be live for it. Do you know when the third season of Random Rings will come to Australia? Don't know. That's a really random show, literally. Disney Channel stuff's always very difficult to predict. All right. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hello there. Do you think they will replace Star with Hulu internationally? If so, when could you see this happening? I think it will happen by the end of the year. I think the Hulu brand will replace the Star Hub. It will make life a lot easier for Disney. And that Star brand will be kind of sold in with this new Star India business. Carlos says, what do you think of the new Epic Games collab will happen? Or when do you think? Well, it's already happening because you obviously can add stuff into Fortnite and other games I think they own Rocket League. We recently got some stuff in there. Whether or not when that big game thing happens, it could be years away. I think it's good. I'd like Disney to kind of get in and have like a one system, and they invest in it properly. Like Disney Infinity had so much scope, but they never really got it behind it. I mean, they got stuck with all these toys, and it just kind of got stuck away. Matt says, heard they're adding a new character, Captain America New World. Yeah, I think there's been some reshoots. I think some of the stuff with the Serpent Society has been dropped, so Seth Rollins is out. Ryan says, someone managed to get toys from Pixar's Hello from McDonald's. Do you think they'll pull it out from McDonald's I Live in Ireland? I saw this. I'm guessing that these were already in production and ready, because obviously the film was due to come out this week. And I mean, you do have to be very careful now with images on the internet with fakes and AI. But it doesn't surprise me, because obviously the production would have been in place, but maybe a box slipped through the net. Maybe something went out by mistake. I'm surprised that, I mean, ultimately, like, these things would have been in production a lot earlier than they would have been supposed to have been out. Maybe a box went out, say, with a release date of March the 1st, and maybe it was a sample box, or I don't know. Very weird, but it doesn't surprise me. It's why we've got so much X-Men 97 stuff on the shelf, because that was supposed to come out last year. Yeah. Bubba Trolling says, do you think the reason why the acquisition of Warner Brothers by Discovery is back at 21st was... Do you think the reason why the acquisition of Warner Brothers by Discovery is that back in 2021, AT&T, David Zaslav made an agreement that they get... Yeah, I mean, I think AT&T just didn't want to be involved in it so much, but the deal kind of... There's a deal that means they can sell stuff from next month. So Suna says, what shows will be on in the merger? Well, I would imagine, to be honest, most of the things that are already on Hulu on Disney Plus will probably be there in it. I don't think that's going to change much. I mean, they might have been able to work on some new library, some deals. But I have a feeling that most of the stuff from like NBC and Comcast, and I mean, there's some real weird ones on there. It's like Showtime's got a little hub. In fact, it's got one show. I mean, it could really do with a bit of a cleanup, but I'm not expecting any big like shift from the Hulu stuff. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Ricardo says, in Japan, the Hulu local version and Disney Plus local version offered in a bundle. Do you think they'll get a bigger agreement here? Yeah, so obviously in Japan, Hulu runs very differently, because it's actually, I think it got sold years ago, and it's a separate streaming service. It doesn't have anything to do with Disney. They just have the same logo. They don't have any of this. They don't share the content, but they made an agreement to come together. Now, whether or not Disney has going to buy Hulu and merge it in to kind of make it easier for the global brand of Hulu, maybe that's it. I mean, I could see that happening, but I don't know. It's good. Otherwise, the Star Hub would have to be renamed to something completely different. But the fact that they've already done a deal, I wouldn't be at all surprised if there's a big change in Japan with the Hulu Hub. So Suna says, do you think they remove all the content that Disney doesn't own before the merger happens? You got to remember, Disney and Hulu, or Hulu specifically, is in the licensing the game, and it gets along a lot of stuff. I think we're going to see more licensed stuff on Hulu on Disney Plus. I think we're going to see more of that. I think it makes sense in some cases. It helps boost up films. It helps boost up series. It's cheaper than making your own stuff. I think we've got to forget about the idea that Disney Plus is this walled garden of just Disney content. It's not. It's a streaming service in the same way that Amazon and Netflix are, and licensing is part of the game. And I think Disney are probably in a good position where maybe like Disney could go, Disney could be able to speak to Paramount and go, well, actually, why don't we could license all of your content from you. I mean, they're not in a position to do that, I don't think, but why not? Or they could go to Warner Brothers and be like, look, we want, we lend it, can we license, 100 movies off of you every month? That's going to happen. Kelly says, notice when you did your videos discussing Hotstar, there was some footage of Shah Rukh Khan promoting Disney Plus in India. Can't blame that, since he's a megastar in it. I think some of these were I just grabbed some of the trailers that were on there. Kelly says, I'm fine with what they're doing on Hulu on Disney Plus. Non-exclusive licensing is the way to go. The goal of business is having a larger reach. And I think I think we're in this like weird zone where licensing isn't bad. Licensing out can be beneficial. Licensing in can be beneficial. And I think the trouble is we're in this weird zone of Disney Plus kind of got sold on this idea of it's the home of Disney, and that's all it is. We don't license our stuff out, and we don't license stuff in. And unfortunately, the world has changed, and the view of what Disney Plus was is not the same as it once was, and it's changed, and they've adapted. And Hulu was always doing it, but Hulu had this like era of being able to like do stuff away from the Disney brand and like bringing it in. You're seeing, I mean, some of the stuff dropping onto like Hulu on Disney Plus is just like wow. I mean, we were having some random stuff dropping here in the UK with some licensed stuff. I know in Hong Kong they license stuff. It makes sense to license local content, but also, you know, if you can make a deal and you can get, I mean, they don't. I think it's less impactful like here in the. But there's also other advantages of, like, they put the Jurassic Park and Detective Pikachu and Batman Begins onto Hulu on Disney Plus this like last week. Well, if you get ads in the middle of them, they're making money off of it. And then, you know, and Warner Brothers are having a huge success having their stuff going on Netflix. I don't think it's the best idea for some of this stuff, but I mean, if you've got something like Lost from Disney, is it going to get any more views where it is? And if you lend it out to Netflix for 2 years, you're going to get some extra money from it. I mean, I don't think it's ideal, and I don't think under normal circumstances, I don't think Disney necessarily would normally do it. But it's like right now, Extraordinary and Under the Banner of Heaven are being advertised a lot on ITV here in the UK. They've licensed it. And it's kind of weird. I've seen more adverts for Extraordinary in the last month here in the UK than Extraordinary Season 2, which comes out next week. That's really good. But yeah, so there we go. Right. Okay, so we've reached the end of the questions. Looking here at this Amazon question. If you've got any more, drop them in now. 51% of you just have got Amazon Prime just for video, 31% for free shipping, and 18% don't have it. Again, that is a big difference. I mean, I think in our audience here, we're probably much more skewed to being video watchers. But again, even 30% of you, you know, that adds up when you look at as a whole. Right. On that note, let's see. We've got a question here. Matt says, "Didn't Fox make a deal with Hulu?" Yes, Fox did make a licensing deal, multi-licensing deal for their content. So all the next day stuff on the Fox channel arrives on Hulu on Disney Plus and Hulu. It actually drops in some good stuff. A lot of like good shows and a lot of reality TV and unscripted stuff. Yeah, some really good stuff, and also get the animated thing. But yeah, licensed content. Obi-Wan Kenobi says Amazon Prime is only video in my country. That definitely makes it. So is that what it's like on Tatooine? Is that what you can get? Amazon Prime? Is it a bit sandy when it gets delivered? Fox definitely made it. Yeah. I think the thing is with Fox and 20th Century, there is a lot of cross promotion, and also a lot of the stuff like The Simpsons, The Family Guy, you know, 911, Lone Star. They're still like dealing with the after effects of that buyout. Right. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back next week with another live Q&A. If you are a YouTube channel member, keep a lookout during the week, and you'll then get note on Friday about asking you for questions. Obviously, as well, you can submit your questions each day as well. And on that note, guys, thank you very much. See you guys soon. Laters.